What's going? It's your girl Sierra, the Doghouse Diva, coming at you with video number 3. And today we're going to be talking about selecting the right dog for your home. There's a lot of things that you want to take into consideration when you are selecting a dog for you and your home and your family. This dog is going to be a part of your life, so they have to make your life comfortable, just like you have to make their lives comfortable. So some things you want to remember when you are selecting a dog for your home is you want to start taking into consideration what kind of home do you have? Do you live in a house or do you live in an apartment? The reason why that's so important is a lot of dogs require a lot of activity and exercise. And if you live in an apartment, they're not going to stop running around. They're going to be dogs. Dogs are going to do what dogs are supposed to do. You always want to remember that. So if you get a dog that has a very high activity level, but you live in an apartment, it's really difficult for them to be able to get that proper exercise, even indoors, as you'll want them to. And then you would start coming into problems like them tearing things up and crying and anxiety issues. So when you're selecting a dog, it's very important to think about where you live before you get that dog. Also, you want to think about, do you have children in your home? Do you have seniors in your home? Do you have disabled peoples in your home? The reason why that is so important is because if you've got seniors or disabled people in your home, you may want to avoid getting a more active, high-strung, hyper dog just because they're more problematic. And when you are dealing with elderly or dealing with disabled individuals, you have to have a lot of attention focused on those individuals, so you won't have as much attention to focus on your fur babies. So you want to make sure you are selecting a dog that is going to be conducive to your living environment, as far as children are concerned and adults are concerned. You want to make sure that you're getting a dog that would be safe and effective in your home. Something else you want to consider is your lifestyle. Are you a really active person or are you more inactive? And by active, I mean, do you exercise? Do you go jogging or hiking or trail riding or, do you canoeing? Are you an active person or are you a more couch potato kind of inactive person? The reason why that is important is if you have a dog that is very inactive, very lazy, likes to lay around and not do a whole lot, they're not going to really have fun when you're going on adventures like hiking and going on trail rides and riding your horses or, or riding your bike or walking. They're not really going to be enjoying the time out that you guys are having together because all they're thinking about is going back home and laying in their bed. So you really want to make sure, you're getting a dog that's going to be beneficial to both you and them. Make sure you're getting a dog that will fit into your activities, your daily activities well. Another thing you want to think about is how much available free time do you have? When you have, especially puppies. Now, a lot of people don't realize when you have puppies and you are starting to do that training process with puppies, as far as potty training your dogs and teaching them to not chew on things, you really have to have a lot of time to devote to them because they have to start, when you're trying to get them on a pee pattern or a bathroom pattern, you want to make sure they're able to go to the bathroom every 4 hours or so, just because they don't understand holding their bladder or holding their bowels. So you want to give them the opportunity to go to the bathroom as freely as possible. The smaller the dog, the more frequently they're going to go to the bathroom. So you have to remember that. A lot of girls want to get all these cute little fluffy Shih Tzus and Yorkies, not realizing they pee like goats, like every 20 minutes. No, I'm just joking. It's not like every 20 minutes, but they have to go to the bathroom more frequently because their bodies are so much smaller. So you have to be able to accommodate them with opportunities to go to the bathroom when you're training. Also, something else you need to think about when you're selecting a dog, you want to think about if you want to get a long-haired dog as opposed to a short-haired dog. A lot of people get the Shih Tzus and the Yorkies. Because I do grooming, I see a lot of dogs that come in that have been not as well maintenance. And I think it has to do with the fact that the owners weren't prepared for the long-term responsibility or the expectations of grooming, a long-haired dog every 2 to 3 months. They just didn't expect that in their budgets, and then when they get the dog, it's kind of like too late. So you want to make sure that you are selecting a dog that is adequate to what you're capable of doing. If you just do not have the time or the finances to get your dog groomed regularly, maybe a long-haired dog is not the best solution for you. You might want to go with a shorter-haired dog, something you can pop in your tub at home, give it a bath, and let it air dry, and it'll be fine. A lot of the Shih Tzus and the Yorkies, they have to be, the Bichons, Poodles, Cocker Spaniels, all those dogs that grow really, really long, thick coats, they have to be maintained on a daily basis. People get these dogs and think they can brush them once a week. It does not work. You're still going to get mats. You're still going to get tangles. The coat will still be negatively affected. So you have to make sure you have time as the owner to groom that dog as it needs to be groomed. Another thing you want to think about is if you want a large breed dog or a small breed dog. A lot of people have that knowledge already. They already know what size dog they're looking for their home. They already know what type of dog. They just haven't done the background on those breeds of dogs that they're interested in to find out if it would be a good match for their lifestyle. So you want to make sure that you are selecting a dog that is good for your lifestyle. Also, mixed breed dogs are very, very good dogs for people. If you're not really that big on breeds and standards, one of the positive things about having a mixed breed dog is that they oftentimes have less health issues as a purebred dog. They kind of mix those genes up and they get a lot of the good traits, and a lot of the bad traits that are attributed to that specific breed are kind of breeded out. So if you want to look into getting some mixed breed dogs, or you don't care that much about the actual breed of the dog, you just want something a certain size or a certain age, go to your local pound and adopt a dog. They need homes. It's so sad to see some of those cases. Poor things. They need good, loving homes with people that will treat them well. So first and foremost, before you go, and select some great big old expensive dog, try out your pound. You may find the breed that you're looking for at the actual pound. So there you go. Also, we talked about your activity level. You want to make sure you're selecting a dog that you will be able to keep up with their activity level. So a lot of people, end up getting these dogs and they realize that they just can't handle their activity level. You guys want to make sure that you are selecting a dog that you can handle their activity level. We're blessed with the internet these days, so if you're interested in a breed, look them up, do your research on them first, make sure that you are looking at the pros as well as the cons. You may want to get in contact with some of your local veterinarian hospitals, get in contact with some of your local groomers, get in touch with some of the dog forums and things that are on like Facebook, just so you can get as informed and prepared as possible before you make your selection for your dog. You don't want to just say, "Ooh, that dog is cute," and pick out a dog and it be too late. Now you have this dog that's driving you crazy. You don't have time for it. It's peeing and pooping all over your house. The hair's growing out. Now it's matted. You want to have a dog that's going to be enjoyable in your home. So you got to make sure that you're selecting a dog that's good for you and your home. And lastly, make sure you're able to handle the financial responsibility of taking care of your new fur baby. The worst thing in the world and the most heartbreaking thing in the world is to get a dog. You're so excited about having this new family member, and all of a sudden 2 years later you realize you can't afford it because it's just too much. Do your research. It will not hurt you to do your research. If anything, it'll allow you the time to make the best decision possible for you and your home. In another video, I'll go over puppy proofing your home. So I'll have another video of that. But this video, I just wanted to have up for people so that they can start making the right selections for their home. Like, I'll use myself as an example. Like, I originally wanted an Afghan hound. I don't know if you guys know anything about the Afghan hound. Beautiful dogs, absolutely breathtaking to see. However, I don't live in the biggest house in the world, and my backyard is fenced in, but it's not a big backyard. And if you know anything about Afghan hounds, they are extremely active, and they have to run. I mean, like run, not like just trot around, but they have to run, chase balls and frisbees and ropes, and they have to be very active dogs. It's just in their nature. So because I know that I don't have the proper home to house an Afghan hound, I didn't get an Afghan hound. So instead, we got Simone, the Rottweiler. If you don't know much about Rottweilers aren't very hyper. They don't have to go outside and run for 2 hours a day. They're very comfortable with sleeping on the bed with you, watching TV, eating snacks. And then Nina, though she is a more hyper dog, she's very comfortable sitting in the house with us as well, laying in the bed. The good thing about having those two together, even though my Rottweiler will not be a very hyper dog when she gets older, she's still a puppy now. So by her being a puppy, she does want to do a lot more running and jumping and playing around. And Nina, by her still being a fairly young pit bull, she still wants to run and jump and play around too. So they run each other to death, which I absolutely love, because if I didn't have one or the other, I would have to do a whole lot more activity with them just to try to burn them out so they would get the proper activity. Also, because I've started this new business, Muddy Paws Dog House, I really don't have the time that it would take to devote to the physical care that a dog like an Afghan hound would need. The brushing and the bathing and the separating and the cleaning and the conditioning. It's a lot that goes into keeping an Afghan's coat healthy and beautiful and lustrous and silky. So I just know that by the lifestyle that I live right now, I just don't have the time for handling an Afghan hound and focus on my business. So I decided to get the Rottweiler and the Pit Bull because they work very well together. Yes, the Rottweiler is big, but she's not an active dog. So she's not going to be running around the house and jumping all over the place and, you know, having anxiety attacks because she's not going outside to get burnt out. And then my Pit Bull, she's not a big girl, so she can fit into a nice small space. If for some reason I had to go back into an apartment, Nina would be perfectly fine in there because she's not that big of a dog. Simone as well, if I needed to get into an apartment. Now, unfortunately, a lot of apartments and things don't allow you to have Rottweilers, but when you do find one that allows you to have a Rottweiler as a pet, they work very well in apartments because they're not very active. You want to exercise them, take them outside for a walk for about a half an hour, they are fine. You know, they don't have to be outside for an hour and a half or 2 hours running around like some of the more active dogs do. So you really want to make sure that when you are selecting your dogs, that you're getting a dog that is conducive to your lifestyle and your home. Alrighty, I'm going to get out of here. Just remember to make sure that you have the financial backing to take care of your dog when you do decide to select your dog and bring it home. Make sure you have that financial backing to take care of that dog for the rest of its life, or at least the ability to get the finances to take care of that dog for the rest of its life. It's so difficult and frustrating when you have a dog that's going through something and you can't afford to take them where they need to be, you know, taken to, or give them the life that they really truly deserve. So Guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already done it, because here at Muddy Paws, we are a pack and we stick together. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can continue to get updated whenever I drop a new video. And also make sure you like. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to ask them. I love questions. Alrighty, see you later.